Hey guys, I'm coming. Maybe somebody's there. Let's see. Hi. Y'all. Whew. Do I look tired? I just ran up the stairs. I live on the 3rd floor. But hey, everybody. So I see Kami is chic. Oh no, Kamish chick. Whew. Gotta catch my breath, y'all. I live on the 3rd floor. I went downstairs because I had to get my laptop in the car. And then Anaya Williams, you finally caught my live. Yes, yes, yes. So if you guys have any questions, drop them. I like to answer the questions when I can, but I want to talk about some dispatcher stuff. AKA Trina. Thanks for the laughy. Okay, hey Trina. Yes, I be trying to go live. Going live is much easier than editing videos. I have a video that I am going to be editing. Well, actually, I started editing it because, my last video I talked about the karaoke contest. So, yeah, I know I had moved on to the next round. So that was this last Wednesday. So I wanted to put video footage of that up. But y'all know it just takes me forever to get it done. But I don't really know what part of the karaoke contest I want to tell you guys because I really want you to, watch the video. I don't want to give it away, good, bad, or indifferent. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys today in particular about training. I know training, once I became a 911 dispatcher, I was super, super, super excited to start because, you've gone through this entire process to get hired. And so it's I am just so ready to start my job. So the training, in the classroom training is so important, and it's so fun, but you have nothing, you have no expectations. You don't even really know what to expect because it's What the hell is this? So, Anaya, I'm sure that doesn't say Anaya, but Miss Williams. She said, yes, I've started the process and done everything up to my background check. I'm kind of worried because he asked about my brother's background, which is bad. Is that going to affect me? Great question. It shouldn't, because I had the same scenario, because they do ask you about your family members. So in case you are interested in being a 911 dispatcher, when you do the background investigation forms, they ask you about things you've done in your past, but they also ask you about your family and your family's past. So like your immediate family, your siblings, they ask you if you have anyone in the area that's incarcerated, like in a county jail or anything like that. And they want you to be honest with that, because they will look into it. So to your question, my brother had been incarcerated for quite some time, actually. And I, had to put his name, and I got hired. However, once I was there, once I, the day I was getting hired, the day I went and spoke to the manager in dispatch, that he spoke with me. He was like, I know that you have a sibling who's been incarcerated for, whatever they've been incarcerated for, is that going to affect you and your ability to do your job and to do it effectively? And I was like, no. And it was like, okay. And, that's like, welcome to the team type of thing. So I was like, oh, yay. So I don't think that it affects you, even whatever the charge is, but if you put his name and information, they will run a criminal background check on him, more than likely, because that's what they do as part of the process. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, Trina. Trina says, so I just passed my interview and started the background investigation for 911 Riverside County, California Sheriff's Department. Training is going to be a beast. You are right. Like this, honestly, I really feel that training is either where you are made or where you are broken. Like it will make or break you. That is when you will really know if you can or if you can't be a 911 dispatcher. Like you will know in training. Like if you didn't already know, like during the hiring process, because it is very rigorous, and so it's a lot involved in it. And so if you really don't want to be a 911 dispatcher, you definitely are not going to be doing all that it entails, as part of the process. But when you get in that classroom, like to me, it's like no matter how much you want to be a 911 dispatcher, it's just a job that's not cut out for everyone to do. And so that is, I think, something that's kind of challenging, is that, it's like you want to do something so bad, but you might not be cut out for it. And that's okay. Because being a dispatcher is tough. It's hard. It's one of the toughest jobs I've ever had. In fact, it is the toughest job I've ever had. But, and I say but, it also has been one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had in life. And it challenged me more than I've ever been challenged before. And it taught me lessons upon lessons upon lessons. It's given me like just a different perspective on life these days. I've never really been like an uptight person that I think. Like I've never really been that girl. But at this point in my life, like I've heard people at their absolute worst time in their life. I know and I understand like things that matter and things that don't matter. And so the things that don't matter, like I don't let those things affect me in that manner, because when you become a 911 dispatcher, you will realize that there are many people with many problems that are way more massive than your problems could ever be, honestly. Maybe not could ever be, but it just made me feel like, my life isn't as bad as I think it is, like, at all. So anyway, yes, training is a beast. Like I said, it'll make you or break you. You will be tested in ways that you didn't even think, like, not even just, feeling like you're back in school again. But I mean, I literally had to learn a whole new city, and I had to learn its geography. I had to learn which streets went east and west, which streets went north and south, which streets intersected each other, and, which beat that was in. And, there were so many things that I had to learn. And, I knew north, south, east, and west, but, there would be times somebody was like, we'll go north on Buckner, and that's in Dallas, by the way. Go north in Buckner, and I wouldn't know which way north was on Buckner, but now, now I'm just so, like, I know north, south, east, and west so well. It's just because I've had to do it. And it's always interesting talking to people on the phone when they don't know, which direction, if they're going north, south, east, or west. And so you have to know the city to know, oh, hey, is there a McDonald's on your right-hand side? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, then you're going northbound if you're at that intersection. So you just learn things like that you never thought you would know. Like the city that I worked in, I could tell you how to get probably anywhere in that city with the streets and or landmarks, just because I've had to give people directions because they call you on 911 or the non-emergency number and ask you for directions. I'm not joking. I want to, you know what? Let me know if y'all would be interested in seeing a video on things to not call 911 for. Like, if you want to see that video, I try to make it a little comical. Yeah, I know I don't think that I'm that funny, but people laugh when I do certain things, so I do. But if you want to see a video like that, definitely let me know. All right, so our brand 01, I'm sorry, my eyes are like killing me softly. So I just started Dispatch this past Monday. Well, congratulations. This week has been all online modules and a little listening in. Next week is classroom training, and week 3 is phone calls. But I really hope classroom training covers how to use the CAT system. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so this is really good, but it seems as though your agency is like, really fast. Although I probably did the same thing. It's been a while since I did training. But like, was that today? Wait, where's my cell phone? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I got this cord right here. And I'm gonna break my neck. And I really don't want witnesses. Honestly, I looked at my Facebook and I don't remember if it was last night or if it was this morning. But I think today, I don't want to speak it if I did. Yes. So today in 2016 was my first day as a 911 dispatcher. This post, I posted, obviously, in 2016, first day of work. Come through. Okay, well, of course it's not going to show because I wanted to. But nonetheless, it says first day of work. Yay, new job. Yay. Like, I remember this was so exciting. So I thought that was neat that I did a live today. I saw that this morning. But anyway, so if y'all want to hear that, what not to call 911 for, let me know. I see a couple of y'all say, yeah, girl. So yeah, y'all do a lot of stuff. So online modules, I never did. Like, I don't know what you mean when you say online modules. So I don't know how to say if I did those or not. But we did do some things online, but that was just kind of listening through, like you said, calls. We listen to different types of calls, different problem natures of calls, just to acclimate ourselves on what people sound like on a phone or listening to people through a headset, because it's very different listening to someone through a headset versus, having a regular conversation with them. You wouldn't really think that it is, but you'll be surprised. And then kind of, having, like, I had a headset that went over my head because I don't like the things that I didn't like them stick in my ears. It just never felt well. So I got the over my head headset, and I always be like, you can't hear. I mean, you can hear, but then you hear other people around you. So you have like those distracting noises. You have people typing all over the place. You might have people yelling at the dispatcher. I had the dispatcher yelling at the call taker or whatever the case is. And so, I mean, it's crazy in there. So you really, really have to like train your ear. Like, you will learn that. And if you are in training as a dispatcher, you will hear that all the time. You have to train your ear. You have to train your ear. Like, once you become a dispatcher and you start wearing your headset, like, most people don't usually wear their headset in a different ear. Like, I always wore my headset on this side. I would, like, if this ear was hurting or if I worked for like a really long shift or something and I was just like annoyed, I would put it on this ear, but it would just be so difficult to like really maintain because I'm not used to listening out of this ear as a dispatcher. And it was weird. Like, if you're a 911 dispatcher watching this video, comment down below if you have your radio ear. That's what they call it, your radio ear. Mine was my right one. That's just what it was. Some people's left, some people's right. Whatevs. I'm just rambling on and on. But you say, and then week 3, you take calls. Like, and that's crazy because I didn't take calls, like answer a 911 call until after 6 weeks in the classroom. I did 6 weeks in the classroom before I ever had to answer a 911 call by myself or with somebody. Only thing I had ever done was talk on the radio. And that's because one of the people who I sat with one day when my trainer wasn't there, or when we didn't have in-classroom training, like they were gone somewhere. So we didn't have in-classroom training. So we had to sit on the phones with, somebody like the whole day and not talk. But the person I was with let me talk on the radio. And I just, called their traffic for them. Well, then the officer, because he knew that the person that I was sitting with he knew that the dispatcher had a training. So he messaged the dispatcher and was like, I can't hear her. And I was like, ah! Like, my first time talking on the radio and they couldn't even hear me. Like, that's freaking crazy. So after that, I started speaking, trying to speak a little louder. So I know I'm learning. Like, at first, I always thought that I talked very loud. But these days, people act like they can't hear me. So I just have to assume that I speak softly. And I think that just came from talking to 911, just like always just being calm and trying to just be that calm voice for somebody and help them in their time of need, that my voice has just become like low. Even today, I was helping out at Vacation Bible School. And I told those kids, I said, y'all making me talk louder than I like to talk. I think I talk this loud, like this, but that was like way too loud. Like, I like to talk like this, like just at an even, cool tone. I am rambling. I am so sorry. Let's get back to the questions. Yeah, we did 6 weeks of training. And yes, they do cover CAD. Like, they would not expect you to have to answer phones or anything like that without showing you how to do CAD. Like, that's just cray. Because CAD is everything. You have to learn CAD. I had to learn CAD before I went, started my OJT, which is on the job training. I think we had a whole week of CAD, probably even more, where we literally worked on a whole CAD system that was kind of inactive. It was inactive, like a test system. We worked the entire test system of CAD so that once we went out onto the floors and actually took calls, it wouldn't be anything strange or different than what we had seen before. Now, we saw the setup for the phone, but our phones in that room, our training room area, were not live. So we didn't get actual phone calls. But what we would do is listen to, recorded calls and listen to the dispatcher or the call taker as they were taking the calls, and kind of took our notes in the test system based on those calls. So that's kind of how we did it at the agency that I worked for. And Anavia Williams, another question I had about the streets. I am from a completely different state. How can I get more familiar with the area? What I would suggest is looking at a map. So like Google, like a city map. So, now I live in Kansas. That's not a city. I live in Wichita, Kansas. And so if I wanted to, Google or look up maps on Wichita to kind of, know the streets better, I would just Google maps of Wichita, Kansas, bam, right there. And so let me find the image. Hopefully you can see it. But you probably can't, because I couldn't even see it just a while ago. My bad. But what I would do is look for a really good map that now this ain't it. Now this say judgmental map of Wichita. Why I gotta pull this one up? This is just, I'm gonna have to say this, because it's, man, you can't see. Oh, there it is. So in the middle and downtown, it say hellhole. Oh man, it says hellhole, hood rats, get shot here tonight, free dogs, ghetto number 2, the rich, nearing death. I don't know. When I look at this, it's kind of backwards, so I don't know what it's really saying. Little Asia, get your hoes here. Oh my gosh. What the hell? Okay, so this is not the map that you want to get. You want to get something. I'm trying to show y'all a good one. This one looks, it's not great, but it'll do for all intents and purposes. So this map you want to get something that shows like your complete city, and then something that shows the highways that go through your city, as well as like the major streets in the city. So this one you can see the streets on there, but you can't really tell what the streets are called. So you'll want to see like the names of the streets and stuff, so that you can study them and see which streets run north and south and which streets run east and west. And then like if you have like, we have a loop, and I said that's what that is. It's kind of a loop. Like if your highway has 3 numbers, if you didn't know this, if the highway has 3 numbers like that, it's like 235 or 135. That means that it's a loop. It just goes kind of like around. If it has just 35, like it's an odd number, that means that it goes north and south, like 35, 45, 75. Those highways go north and south. They're odd numbers. Those that are even numbers run east and west, like 20, 30, 40, etc., etc. So if you didn't know that, that was free. Hopefully you learned something today. Somebody. Anyway, but yeah, you just have to study, drive the city, drive around that town just to see where things are, just to have a better understanding. Because like I said, people will call you and ask, how do you get to the DMV? Like I'm on the highway and blah, blah, blah. So like when you're a 911 dispatcher, you would not only answer 911 calls, you answer non-emergency calls, and you're expected to be like knowing everything. Like one day I was at work, I was like, how am I supposed to know everything? Like every apartment complex, and how am I supposed to know if they're individually addressed, if it's one main address? And it was like, you just supposed to know that. And I'm like, no, that's not right. But like, they were right. You just supposed to know it. And once you've been a 911 dispatcher for a while, you'll learn it. You'll see. You're like, okay, I get it. It just makes it easier. And once you do it all the time, you learn like the apartments that's always something happening at, So when it pulls up on the screen, when it pops up, you be like, oh Lord, here we go over here again. And then you already know, oh, these apartments are individually addressed. And so if they tell you, I don't know what the address or I don't know the building number, that's probably right because the building numbers aren't on it. So you just learn those things and it's crazy. And we had a book, I'm just talking. We had a book that we had that had all of the apartments in it. And so, yeah. Dang, it's like a lot of comments going on. I don't know what's going on. So let's see. Dang, I'm way far. Y'all, I'm just rambling. All right, sorry, my phone died. Trini, your phone cannot be dying, girl. Yes, do a video of hilarious, stupid calls. I will try to see like what I can remember. I remember lots of stuff, but I just want to do like a funny video or like reasons to not call 911. I'm gonna work on that. Y'all pray for your girl because she be forgetting stuff and work is just like overload times 18 and a half. So pray for me. But I do it. All right. So Trina said in my background I have been a victim of DV, but it's not gonna affect my ability to do my job. Also, my dad has mental health issues, living in a mental health facility. What are your thoughts? I think that and it's just my honest opinion, I think that when there are things that you have dealt with or are dealing with, and they'll tell you this, when you have things that you've gone through, when you take a call kind of pertaining to something relative to that, it's going to hit you just a little different because you understand that, you know that you've been in that situation before. Like, for example, I've been through stuff. I be trying not to cuss. Y'all help me because I be trying not to cuss. When you a 911 dispatcher, you cuss a lot. Trust me, I didn't even cuss before I was a 911 dispatcher. Now I cuss like I've been a sailor my whole life. So go figure. But I remember taking a call, like it wasn't like a bad call at all, but it just affected me differently because mentally I put myself in their situation because I had kind of been there before. And it was a son and a daughter. The daughter called and she said that, her dad was like dead on the floor. They came to the house. They hadn't talked to him in days and he was dead. And so she was like hysterical. And so I couldn't really understand her at first. Like I understood her. She just kept saying her dad, but she was like screaming like, ah. And I asked her, I was like, is there anybody else that's there with you? Because I could hear her say, I could hear somebody else. So can I speak to them? And so I spoke to the other person, and it was the son, and he was like, he's dead, like he's stiff, he's cold, and like all of these things. And all I thought about was when my dad died, and like how when I first found out, I was like that girl that was like screaming and hysterical, and so I get it. And so sometimes after that, like you just need to take a minute, and I say as long as it's not busy, as long as it's not too busy. I say that, but it's like true. But like, if you really need to like just go take a break because you can't get it together, like can't compose. But when you had things going on, I think no matter how hard you try to hide it or how hard you try like to not let it affect you, it does because our minds, they just go there, unfortunately. And when you say your dad has issues and living in a mental health facility, what are my thoughts? I don't think that will have any bearing on you doing your job and doing it effectively. But like I said, if you know that you have things that you really, really need to work on or seek counseling for, then I would, because if you don't, those things will affect you. Somebody else said yes. Tasha, not Tasha. Trina said yes. We want to see the videos. So I got y'all. I try to get it done before 2018 is over. Wait, it's 19. Jesus, take the wheel. For 2019, oh what? All right. So our brand's kind of talking, and somebody said my dad has mental health stuff, and it wasn't an issue. Also, my stepbrother's been arrested a couple times, and that didn't matter for me either. Yeah, like they just want you to be honest. Like honestly, guys, like they really look at integrity. Like integrity is really, really big because, like when things happen, anytime there's like any officer involved, shooting, anything crazy that's going on, like with a serious case or a serious call, or like let's say like there's let's okay, for example, like in the city of Richardson, which is north of Dallas. The city of Richardson, a couple of years ago, year and a half ago, there was a guy who, they murdered. Well, they called and reported their 3-year-old child like missing. So they put out an Amber Alert for her, but then they said he set her outside because she was not drinking her milk, and he set her out there for punishment. But then like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, they found her body in a ditch, a culvert. Um, you know, all of that stuff. So they arrested the mom and the dad. So it was like wow, wow, wow. So today, he was sentenced or yesterday, to life in prison. I say all that to say is that in cases like that go to court, that go to trial, that have a lot of media attention, they will pull your 911 tape because, as you know, that is public record. Everything that you say on the phone, in the dispatch center, whether it is on a 911 call or a non-emergency call, it is recorded. Like we have phones, like certain phones outside of our dispatch center that we could use if we needed to use like a phone that wasn't recording. Any phone on the console, supervisor console, except like certain phones, like they record, and it's to protect you. And so I remember them telling us in training, like, we need to, just always be careful with, how we are talking to people and what we say, because we could end up on, the news at any time. And so that's definitely true. So I've heard many 911 calls on the radio, on TV, and I'm just like, ooh. Or, I just know that sometimes people say things they ain't supposed to say, and then they incriminate themselves, or they stay on the phone too long. Like I used to hang up. Like when I transfer a call, I give you the information and I hang up because I don't want to know anything else beyond what pertains to me and my city. B. Ren said, I got a lot of comments. Says, thank you for bringing up the radio. It's something hard to understand, and I'm glad it's not just me. Oh, yes. Understanding the radio is challenging. Like, I remember when I was trying to learn, not even just to understand the radio, but to even understand callers on the phone sometimes. Like, I remember I used to tell my friends, I'm like, call me, and I'm going to roll my window down and talk to you on the phone. Because I need to, no, call me and roll your window down and talk to me on the phone. Because I want to see if I can understand you, through the static. Like I used to have my friends do that because I wanted to be the best 911 dispatcher and hear through anything. It didn't work all the time, but I did it. But yeah, understanding the radio is crazy. And then sometimes you have officers that come from different agencies and they use different like lingo, and then they use like 10 codes and stuff. And some agencies use 10 codes. Some agencies have their own 10 codes. Some agencies don't use 10 codes. Some agencies use a different mnemonic. So you have the ones that have like mnemonics are like just alphabet. So you have some agencies that use Alpha, Beta, Charlie, or Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Or you have some agencies that have, Adam, Boy, Charles, David. So they do them like that. And so when they switch up, it's like you're not really expecting it, and then they'll want you to run a name. He's like, you know, you have an officer say, "Can you run me one on the way?" And you say, "Yeah, last name, Bravo, Bravo, Bravo." I'm like, what the hell? What's a Bravo? I don't do Bravos. Crazy. So yeah, learning them and just learning all y'all. It's a lot. Like, you gotta be the smartest person. That's why I say when y'all pass that critical test and y'all become 911 dispatchers, that's how you know you like one of the smartest people in the world. Because that's what 911 dispatchers are. I'm just saying. It say icons. I can't believe I made a lie. I know. Welcome to the show. Hey. Welcome to the show. Hey. No, tripping. I don't know. I'm just, you know what? And I'm going to get back to the questions. You know, I moved here to Kansas. I don't know anybody. I mean, I know a few people, and the people I have met have been like super dope, crazy. Love them, love them, love them. But like during the week, you know, I don't have anything. So this week is Vacation Bible School. So I've been helping out with that. And on Friday at Vacation Bible School, they do like this big party for the kids and for the parents. And each age group has to perform like some kind of something. And so I wrote a rap, not rap. Y'all know I like my music. So I wrote like a remix to the remix of Old Town Road. And I and I did like a like the VBS version. I'll see if at the end of this, I'll share it with y'all. I don't know if I'll get a copyright strike. We'll see. All right. So I'll be tethered to my trainer. So not totally alone, but I'm definitely feeling unqualified. Oh, yeah. You know what? After we did 6 weeks of in the classroom training, we also had to do 140 hours with our CTO, which is your training officer. Your trainer. Is it CTO? Yeah, CTO. Training officer. It's not an officer though. But I felt so comfortable when I was tethered to her. The scariest call I ever took was the first call that I took when she was not connected to me. Like when she wasn't connected to me, I was just like everybody's excited because they kind of make it like a big deal when you are released, you know, to take calls on your own. So they have like a card and they have everybody go around and sign it saying, congratulations, we're proud of you, we knew you could do it. That's when you passed all your tests and, you know, you done your state test, you done your hours, then you have a city test that you have to take so they can make sure you're good to go for they, you know, and then your trainer have to sign off on you. So it's just a lot. So it's a big deal. And, you know, essentially you've probably been in training for like 3 months. And so, you know, everybody kind of know you like, yeah, you finally made it, girl. So, you know, it's a big deal. So that was pretty exciting. But that first call I took, that whole first day, first week, hell, I didn't know what to do. I kept muting everybody, and I was like, supervisor, hey, what if, da-da-da-da? She was like, girl, you know what that is. I'm like, I know, but I'm scared. So it was scary once I was disconnected from her for a little bit. I get it. Aaron Z says, thanks for your videos. I'm working on getting my GED. Once I get it, I'm going to get a 911 dispatcher job. Your videos have given me some real useful advice. Awesome. Like, definitely go to school, get your education, do what you need to do, and have something else like in the plan. So just in case, you know, the process, you know, like I said, it's lengthy, you know, but I believe in you. I believe you can do it. So go out there and kill it, but not nobody. Okay, here we go. Trina says Riverside County has 32 weeks. Holy hella, plus 12 weeks of post training. Yeah, like, listen, y'all be talking about, yeah, training is tough. Like, you learn a lot. So I feel like the longer you can go, I know it's annoying. Like there was at this one point in time, like when I was almost done with my on the job training, like I started to feel myself. Like I was like really, you know, I was like, ooh, like I don't even need her no more. Like I got this. I ain't had that because it was this call that came in. It was like a kidnapping in progress. Um, that scared the hell out of me. So that's when I start to smell my own shit. And my stepmom used to say, "You walking around here like you don't, like your shit don't stink." Well, but yeah. So home of the BTK serial killer. Sorry, ha ha ha. My ex was born there. I don't even know what y'all talking about. Oh, Riverside County. See, this is what I be thinking, like, cause see, I've been talking too much, cause now like it's comments I don't even know. I'm just gonna read them and then answer the questions. No harsh intentions, man, girl. Yeah, I'm talking about the map. Oh, you talking about that map, girl? Girl, that map was a whole hot mess. Uh, I couldn't even believe that. Like, I, I don't even know. I don't even get it. I don't get it. I'm gonna have to look at the map and then I'm gonna ask my friends at work tomorrow. I'm gonna make a copy of that map and be like, how accurate is this? Let me know. Then I'll let y'all know. All right. It says you have to memorize the apartments. I mean, they say you don't have to, but it's really, really good to, because you get calls from apartment complexes all the time. Luckily, like your mapping system should pull it up, but sometimes people will say, I live in, the dream apartments. And you'll put in the dream apartments, but it's individually addressed. So the dream apartments, that main building might be, 1, 2, 3, 4, but the building that the person is in is addressed, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's on a different street because it's somewhere else in the apartment complex. So some of them are like that. And so, yeah, you got to know. And that's the same shit I said. I was like, I got to know all of that. And they were like, yeah. And I'm just like, that's cray cray. But again, like I said, when you do it for so long, you learn. It just, you don't even realize you know it. You just know it. So that's kind of strange. Like I just started realizing I knew stuff that I didn't even know. I'm like, cool. Ooh, thanks. Okay. Thanks, Laura. That's really helpful. That's from Trina. Knowing it will affect us differently if we've had similar experiences. Yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of when things happen, when people talk about things, like, I think it's just human nature for you to think about the time that you went through something similar or you thought about somebody who went through something similar as well. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how the mind works. Have you ever had to testify to things you heard in a case? No. Yay. No. Luckily, the agency I worked with, we had a really good public information officer who handled those things for us. She always went to court. Like one day she told me, she's like, I just listened to your call. And I said, which one? And she said, the man who got punched on the highway. And I was like, oh, Lord. And she said, yeah, I got to go to court. So I just wanted to, I'm going over the tapes because we're going to play them in court. And so they played. I haven't had to go to court, but they have played my tapes in court. She tries to go on our behalf so that we don't have to. But sometimes, people have gotten subpoenaed. Like the police or the constable will come down to the dispatch center and serve them at work. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Listen. Oh, man, I got a story so good. It don't have, but if I tell it, I got to figure out how to tell it without telling y'all too much stuff. It's a good story. But if I tell the story, then it will give away kind of where I was. I'm trying not to do that. People already be figuring this shit out. but I just would prefer not to say it. Let's see. So no, I haven't had to go to court, but my calls have been played in court. Rebecca, hey girl, just wanted to say thank you. Watch your videos on, I don't know what that means. Sorry. I don't know acronyms as well. But I watched your videos and it gave me the confidence to ace it. And I'm in week 2 of training. Awesome. I'm so excited. Like I get so, okay, I'm critical. Okay. I'm so happy. Like I get so excited when people pass that critical test because obviously it's not like super, super easy. And a lot of people don't pass it. And so when I looked up, sorry. What you mean, girl, don't compromise myself? I don't know what you're talking about. I be forgetting. Just tell me. And I'm gonna get back to the other questions, but they just I was like, what are you talking about, girl? I just get, oh yeah, right. That's why I'm saying I ain't finna, girl. I know. Not for YouTube. They don't pay me that much. I don't know. I don't want to be getting in trouble with these people. I don't think I will. This is public stuff. What I tell you is public. I just don't want to put out there where I was, even though some people know. Yes. So I'm so happy. Like I just get really excited because I know that it's not easy. I know it's not an easy process. I know it's a long process. And so I just am so excited when people get through it because it is so much. But I know the reward. And if it's something that you truly are meant to do, that you are truly called and equipped to do, that you will rock it. Like you have dispatchers. And I was not a dispatcher for a long time. But you have dispatchers who were dispatchers for a long time. You either have people who are there really short, like don't make it out of training, and then people who've been there forever because it is rewarding. And I'm going to tell you the truth. When you're a 911 dispatch, just like firefighters and police officers, like they don't consider themselves as heroes at all, especially while you're in the job. But when I think about, all of the mothers that have called 911 to help when their child is choking or when someone is dying, and all of the times that I've been able to help them to help save a life or to, or whatever the case is, like I think of how heroic those things are. And I think about the 911 dispatchers who are still dispatchers who are so, they don't get credit. And I'm not saying that they do it for credit. But they just don't get credit for what it is they do. A lot of 911 dispatchers get PTSD just simply because they've heard somebody getting stabbed or they've heard someone getting killed and screaming for their life. And, those things replay in your mind. And those are not things that you forget very easily. I've never had anybody stabbed or killed or anything, but I've heard people screaming and, running and burglaries in progress and robbery. Like I've heard those things. I've heard people trying to kill themselves. So those things, kind of linger on and you kind of think about those things and, it becomes a lot. So you just really have to, I don't know, you just really have to do it. So I just get really excited because everybody can't do that. Like they can't. Everybody can't handle it. And so I just get really excited. Linda says, is there any downtime for dispatch or are you answering calls nonstop constantly? Excellent question. The agency that I worked in, everybody got an hour break. So what we did is when you first arrived, let me do that. So doing that. And what we did when we first arrived, you would be assigned which hour you took your break. So you didn't get to choose when your break was. And it was usually by so you have a rotation of days. So if your work week starts on Wednesday and your work week starts on Wednesday, that's your Wednesday is your Monday. So whoever is like Monday it is, you get the last choice for the break. And whoever's Friday it is, they're the one who has to make the rotation and or the break schedule. Everybody submit their time. Anyway, long story short, yes, you get breaks, but if it's really busy, they will stop breaks. Like I have had that happen. Where they will stop breaks because it's so busy. You have to have a certain number of people on the floor. But then not only that, it's like sometimes you have calls waiting, and that's never good. Or you have calls that's ringing over, like when they say ringing overhead, I know the agency I was, the phone will ring to you. And then if you didn't answer it after like three rings, it'll ring overhead. That means anybody can pick it up. But it's never good when, I don't say it's never good. It's not good because that means ring more than 3 seconds. But you shouldn't be ringing overhead. So if it's crazy busy, or if it's a wreck, or it's bad weather, lots of alarms, storms, all that stuff, they're going to suspend breaks temporarily and probably shorten your breaks, or, 2 people, once it gets a little bit calmer, 2 people go at a time, stuff like that. So yes, you get a break most of the time. Like I got a break probably 95% of the time. So very rarely did I not get one. Rebecca says 36 weeks where I am and I'm only 2 weeks and my hair hurts. Girl, yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's, as I say, it's probably the hardest job you'll ever do, but the most rewarding. Like you got to learn everything. Girl, you keep retracting your messages and I was just about to read it. I forgot. Okay. Trina says, kidnapping, oh my, scary. So it all eventually all clicks. Yes, kidnapping, that is scary. Luckily it wasn't a real kidnapping. Praise God. But you have to treat it like that. You never know really what's going on. But a kidnapping is like a level 1, like a priority 1 call. So like when that happens, like everybody is notified, like, and it's a big deal. So when I put that call in, like I was scared to put it in because it was a kidnapping call and I didn't want to send to Calgary for nothing, which is what we did. Oh, we didn't really send to Calgary for nothing, but it took them a while to find the kid and they found him in the porta potty, taking a dump, basically. I already talked about those. I'm moving right along. Did you have to do a ride along with the police? If so, how was it? No, I didn't do a ride along because we didn't have enough dispatchers at our agency to cover the phones for the ride along. Like we just couldn't do it. Like it just didn't work out for us. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have been able to do anything but run names, which would have been cool, but I don't know if I want to do it right now. It would be cool too now, but I don't know if I would have wanted to then. I kind of did, but I knew it really wasn't an option. So I just kind of didn't want to do it anymore. Scott says, why aren't you dispatching anymore? Great question. I have a video on that. Let me do a shameless plug. I have a video on that. It's why I'm no longer a dispatcher. Check it out. Long story short, I got a new job. That's the short version of the long story and not even the whole story. Like it's kind of a small part to the big story. But basically, working with stressed individuals is very challenging. It's very tough. And being a 911 dispatcher is already an extremely stressful job. When you have people who don't know how to process their stress and deal with it, it becomes quite challenging to work with them. So watch the video and that all makes sense to you. You asked also, what was the most rewarding part of the job? The most rewarding part of that job is knowing that I made a difference in someone's life that day. It didn't have to be in every call. It didn't have to be every person. But just knowing that I helped somebody in some capacity was very rewarding and very fulfilling. when you're talking to someone and, they're having a panic attack, or, they're about to give birth, or, they just tried to commit suicide, or they're really trying to not commit suicide. Like they're trying to keep themselves from harming themselves. When you know that you are the voice that helped them to continue on with their life, that's just such a huge blessing. The feeling that I get is just like is no feeling like that. There's no feeling like that. So that's what I mean when I say it's rewarding, for sure. What's the average time to answer the call at your agency? Ooh, my former agency, because I'm no longer a dispatcher. I don't remember the exact, but 3 seconds is too long. It's too long. Or maybe it was 5 rings. They don't do seconds, they do rings. I try to answer my call on the first ring, like always. Because if it's ringing to me, I'm not doing anything else. The only thing that would prevent me from answering that call while it was ringing is if I am at another console, but I'm still tethered to my console, but there's just the cord is really long, so you can kind of go like anywhere. Well, not anywhere. You can go somewhere close. So the only time my phone might ring more than once is if I'm not at my console and I have to hurry up and get over there to push the button to answer it. But then I still have the opportunity to catch my breath, because I had the recording that would say, 911 was the address of the emergency. So as a person was talking, telling me the address, I would still be catching my breath and put the address in. And then, like, honestly, guys, like, seriously, I don't know. There's some dispatchers on here that are new, but you will see, like, when you are a dispatcher, like, yes, you definitely care about the callers, but because it is so intense at times, like, you really have to get out of your head about the stuff. And you're going to become desensitized. Like, you're not going to, like, there became a point where I really didn't feel anymore. Like, I'm like, oh gosh, somebody calling about blah, 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 blah. And I didn't really want to feel like that. Like, I didn't care anymore. Like, I care, but it was just like, you start prioritizing things, just thinking like, oh, that's not that serious, or that's not that bad. Or, it's like, who am I? I can't say that stuff. But I try to answer on the first ring. Try to, for sure. And then at the end of the month, like this is another thing. See, I'm competitive and I'm driven by numbers. So at the end of the month, they print out a report and they put it out to everybody. Not who got what, but like the top people who got perfect EMD scores, which is emergency medical dispatch, who got 100% on their PAIs, which are pre-arrival instructions. This is a medical calls. So I always wanted to I always wanted to be on the list. And I was on the list a few times for EMD and PAIs. So I was really excited about it. And then when citizens call in, because, obviously you talk to citizens because they're the ones calling 911. Sometimes they'll call in and say, I talked to, so-and-so on this. I called in on this day about whatever. And I don't know who I spoke with, but they were really, really nice and they really helped me. And I just want to say thank you to that person. And then so the supervisor will send that out in the email and then hang it up on the bulletin board, just because everybody's like really proud, because people don't, people go and thank the police officers, people go and thank the fire department, but really we're the ones who were telling you how to help that person before, they arrived. And so not that, dispatchers want all the credit, but I just wish I want to do whatever I can to make sure that they get some or more than what they've been getting, So anyway, and I say, you keep answering my questions, LOL, but the dispatch place I work at says they have training for each position, like fire, medical, and just talking to people on the phone. Did you do this? Yes. So yes, I did. So you first, at the agency I worked at, you first learn phones, you become a call taker. And so everybody is a call taker. Everybody starts off as a call taker. But at the agency I was at, when you're a call taker, you also do emergency medical dispatch. So that means that anybody that called 911 in the city that I worked in, whoever you spoke with would be able to help you. If you had a medical issue or a police issue, they'll be able to assist you. So you don't have to be put on hold. You don't have to be transferred to another department or anything like that. Everybody can help you. But once you finish call taking, you have to do a certain number of hours, and then they'll say, you're going to start training for your first radio channel and, whatever day. And you start training on your channel. So you got to go back in the classroom for a little bit. You got to, I think it's 3, well, depending on what you're training. I did NCIC, which is a little bit longer in the classroom because you have like FBI databases and all of this stuff. You have to learn how to read reports, and you have to learn how to catalog things. So you have to learn Amber Alerts. You have to learn teletypes. It's just so much stuff. You have to learn all of the syntax and running people's names. And the craziest part of all of that is I remember the first time I had to run like multiple names. Officer radio and said, I need you to run 5 all the way, run 5 complete. I'm like, what the hell? So he gives me the things and I run the first name. They do first name, last name, date of birth, gender, race. And then you also have to put in, like, if they want to run somebody like all the way complete, like a complete background check, you have to, put like the reason, like what's the problem nature in the ticket. So if it says like burglary, you have to put burglary, you have to put officer's name. It's just a lot of stuff you got to put in there. Then you hit enter. You got to do that for 5 people. When you run their background check, if they've been arrested and they have alias names, or alias dates of birth, you have to run each of those alias names, run the different combinations of the alias names, and then run the different birth dates to the different variations of the name. It's just a lot. Like, I used to have headaches every time I was at NCI. Like when I first started at NCIC, I just would have headaches every day because I couldn't like figure it out. Like it was just too much. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Kids wore me out today, I guess. So I just NCIC. Police training is a little harder. I don't know if it's a little harder, but I know NCIC, we had to learn police dispatch because sometimes the officers would be on the NCIC channel when they're asking us for background investigations and things, and then they wouldn't change over, and then you'll hear somebody key up, I got one running. It's like, wait a second, what you mean you got one running? You on the wrong channel. And then I have to, holler at the PD dispatcher, be like, David too has one running. And then I have to take, this foot pursuit. And I'm not equipped to take a foot pursuit, but I have to take the foot. I was equipped to do it. But you have to take the foot pursuit because officers on your channel. And at NCIC, you ain't used to that. So you have to know PD and NCIC stuff. But that was just where I worked. But fire's totally different. Fire's kind of cool. I like fire dispatch. It's kind of neat. I wasn't a fire dispatcher, but a lot, like all my friends in dispatch were. Like I used to be feeling like they just chilling and I'm having to run all of these names all day. Because the fire department, they got it all figured out. Like, if it's a structure fire, they're going to have the Alpha side, they're going to have the Bravo side, the Charlie side, the Delta side. They already know what's going on. They radio everything. They say, fire going on to Alpha. Just so much. They got it together like a well-oiled machine. So, yeah. Trina says, you're helping all of us now. Thank you. You're so welcome. I want to help people, like really, especially being a dispatcher, because I know it was like the best. So I want to help as much as I can. Linda says, are you held liable for suicidal callers? No, not if you do what's right. If you follow your SOPs, which is standard operating procedure, no, you are not liable for that. I mean, you can't be liable. But if you say the wrong thing, then you're responsible for what you say. Absolutely. So now, depending on what it is, like, I don't know, I can't think of any scenarios that you would get in trouble for. But I mean, for example, if someone says, I want to kill myself, if you say, well, do it. Well, yeah, you're going to be in trouble for that, period. But there is a list of questions that you're supposed to ask people who are suicidal, so that situation doesn't happen. As long as you follow the protocol, you're fine. It's when you deviate from that the problem starts. I'm sorry. Rebecca says we do 5 seconds, but we don't answer the lines. They just go live when they come to you. Oh, wow. That's what they needed where I work, because people used to piss me off. At first, they weren't on a cycle. Like, everybody, like, the phones would just ring. Whoever answered it would answer it. But it would be people who wouldn't even answer 911 calls at all. Like, they just be like, I ain't answering it. And then it'll roll to somebody else. And I remember one day I was answering like all of the calls. Yeah, I was happy because I got a lot of experience, but I was like, no, we all getting paid to answer calls. Y'all better answer some of these calls, put in work or something. Like, no. So, I don't know, but I liked it. I got to go to bed. Class starts early. Thanks again and take care. Thank you, Rebecca, for joining. Like, I'm really, really excited that you were able to get on the live. And I know we got some other people who actually got on the live tonight that don't normally get to make it. So that's really exciting. So, yay. Good night, girl. Have fun. Well, I don't say have fun sleeping, but have fun tomorrow in training. Stay awake. Soak it all in. Dave of the North says, hey, Dave of the North. And then no. Scott Scarborough says, do protocol questions show up on the screen so you know what to ask and don't forget something? Okay, so it depends on what system and CAD you're using. So the system that we used for medical questions, yes, all of the questions automatically popped up. Those are called protocols. They will automatically pop up and tell you what to ask next. And if you click whatever they say, it would shunt. That's what it's called. It would shunt to the next step or to the next set of questions. However, on the police side, it's not really like that. So what we used to have, I mean, obviously there are questions that you need to ask. You need to ask them where they are. If somebody's suicidal, where are you? You want to get their phone number. If they can give it to you, and, hopefully the number they're calling from is the right number, but you always ask the number in case you get disconnected. But you want to find out when they say they want to kill themselves, you want to find out, have you already done anything, or are you planning? Like, what's your plan? Not what's your plan, but what's your plan? Do you have any weapons? Are you intoxicated? It's just stuff like that. But there is a list, at least at my agency. You just typed in the problem nature, and then that SOP or standard operating procedure will pop up, and it will have all the questions that you needed to ask. You have questions around scene security, which is, do you have any weapons, or are you intoxicated? Because if they are intoxicated or if they have any weapons, the police are going to respond a little differently, because not only is that person at that point suicidal, but they don't know if that person is homicidal as well. And so they have to treat those situations as such because they have to protect themselves. So yeah. And another thing is, they don't want you, like, you can't just make up questions to ask people either. Like, you can't just ask them what you want to ask just because you feel like asking them. You get in trouble for that. I forget what it's called. It'll probably come to me in a minute. But you can't just ask like whatever just because you like, hey, I want to know this. Let me say what color. I don't know. What color stripes are those? Now, if I'm describing a suspect or subject, then the color stripes is appropriate. But you get what I'm saying. You just have to be with them. You can't just ask people anything like, do you have a sexually transmitted? You can't say that. You can't say that. What are the questions for suicide call? Did I just ask that? I don't remember. I think I did. Yeah, I did. I don't know all of them. Rebecca says we'll do night, night, night. David North, I'm in week 7 of training, small county 2-person vertical center. Ooh, so you probably see, people like David and North are gonna be like, those people are like super. So like people in small agencies do a lot. Like where I worked, I started off as a call taker. That's all I had to do was answer the phones. And even as a dispatcher, I never really, sometimes I would have to, but very rarely did I have to answer the phones and the radio at the same time. In the place where Dave is, I'm sure that he will have to answer the phones and the radio at the same time. You probably like, wait, what does that mean? So let's say, ooh, these braids, y'all, they so heavy, and I just want to rip them out. Okay. So let's say I call 911. Ring, ring, ring. 911, what's the address of the emergency? And, I'm talking to, this person, da, 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 da. Then you have Officer Smith that keys up. They say, 2 Charlie 2 traffic. You be like, what the hell? Then you say, you listening to this person, so you have to put them on mute sometimes and then put them on mute sometimes. And like we had a waistband clip and we also had a foot pedal clip. So, I mean, you just doing so much and you talking to this person and you trying to put their call into CAD and then you talking to the officer and you trying to run their information and find out what do they want and what do they need and how you can help them. So it's just a lot. So I know that you about to go crazy. We never had to do that really. Only time I had to answer phones and dispatch was when we were like super, super busy and the phones were ringing overhead. And then if I was dispatching, that's when I had to answer phones and dispatch. But in my agency, if you're a police dispatcher, you only did police dispatch. You did not have to answer phones while you were dispatching. So that was police. So that was good. Oh, I don't have any more questions. I got through that quickly. Not really quickly. I've been on here a freaking hour. But I wanted to share with y'all, I don't know how much I can, because I don't know. Anyway, I kind of rewrote a song for Vacation Bible School. So I'm gonna see if I can do it. Can y'all hear that? So it's Old Town Road remix. So I'm gonna I remixed it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you all what I learned this week while I was at TBC. I'm gonna tell you all what I learned this week while I was at TBC. The Pharaoh, he was kinda bad, wanted all the boys dead. Moses' mom said no because she wasn't having that. Made her son a basket, put him on a current. That she didn't know that she was gonna get to raise him. BBS taught me something. It really taught me something. Anyway, y'all, I know y'all don't want to hear that whole thing, but that's super exciting that I got to remix that song like that. It's kind of fun. Scott says, I start on July 29th. I appreciate your videos and look forward to more. Yes. So exciting. I'm so happy for all of these new dispatchers that's out there. Like, y'all are going to change the world. And I know in Texas, they just passed this law that 911 dispatchers are first responders now. So you'll be able to, I don't think you're in Texas, but, like I say, it's just a different feeling because you know the things that you go through and you know what you feel. And I mean, officers don't take as many calls as dispatchers do. Let's be real. And there are a lot of calls that officers never even hear about or know about. We have people calling us all damn day long. They'll never know. It's just really different, totally different. But I thank you guys so much for watching. I do have a video. What's today? Thursday? Oh my gosh. I need to edit a video by this weekend. I do want to edit because remember I told you I won a karaoke contest like a couple weeks ago, and then I had to compete again. So I had that video that I'm going to be dropping of me competing again. So you can see how I did. And yeah, so just remember I don't even know who made it to the end of this video. But just remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Definitely. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you want to email me, my email address is down below. Feel free to do so. I love y'all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.